We welcome you to the McDevitt Catholic Christmas Showcase. It is the third of four games today, the third of eight total games throughout the course of the showcase at Bishop McDevitt High School. Our Lady of Mount Carmel faces Cathedral Prep, one coming from Baltimore, the other from Erie, and they tip off right now. The tip off goes to Cathedral Prep, and we are underway in our third of eight, presented by Mid-Penn Bank. After halftime of this one, we will talk to McDevitt head coach and tournament organizer Jason Grace. He's going to get us set to go for the nightcap tonight. Pittsburgh Central Catholic will face McDevitt. Cathedral Prep, Vando Mararchi, pass underneath, and that one will not go. 0-0, 40, now 50 seconds into this one. Mount Carmel racing down the other end. The second chance bucket will not go. Now a third chance floater won't go. The third chance came off a miss from Mario Tatum. Cathedral Prep just got back 5 days ago from Las Vegas. And obviously, up in Erie, it's quite the trip to come down here. It's not like they're still at home. They came back and were able to stay. Las Vegas compared to Harrisburg is a little bit different, but still a 5-hour trip down here for the Ramblers. Passed out underneath, and it is good for Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Mario Tatum gets us underway. He has two. Quarter three will hit for Cathedral Prep. It is Nando Bararchi. So in that trip to Las Vegas, Cathedral Prep went 1 for 3, excuse me, 2 for 4. They beat Christian Brothers by 7 points from Sacramento, California. Then they beat Arbor View from Las Vegas. And then they lost to Lawndale, California's Lusinger and faced R.W. Gaines STEM Academy from Arlington, Texas. Lost that one. Talked to Jeremy Lynch at halftime of the last game, Berks Catholic and LaSalle. Jeremy Lynch said that it's the biggest high school basketball tournament in the country. There's about 15 brackets, hundreds of teams, he says, that play in Las Vegas. Shot is up and good from Rod Scott. His first free throw. His second rolls and does not hit. So 3-3 is where we stand with 5:16 left to go in this first quarter. Not the most terrific crowd on hand. But you're talking about families traveling from Baltimore and families traveling from Erie. Not going to be not going to be the most hometown crowd. And tonight, I expect the crowd to fill in as this one goes on with more and more McDevitt fans that are ready to see their squad go toe to toe with Pittsburgh Central Catholic. First free throw is up and no good. At the line for Cathedral Prep is Max Wallace. Wallace's second, also no good. He goes 0 for 2 and his attempt at the line, and it's 3-3. Up and underneath, a big body move from Junior Mancho, the sophomore center, 5-3. And a little bit of a lazy bounce pass is taken away by Mount Carmel. Finishing on the other end is Rod Scott. Mount Carmel leads 7-3. Three ball won't hit. And this pass is going to be taken away by Cathedral Prep. From the whole discussion I had with Jeremy Lynch about the out-of-state opponents they've had, and for reference, tomorrow when Cathedral Prep faces LaSalle, that'll be the first in-state opponent they have had in 14 days. Quite the gap. This is their fifth straight out-of-state opponent, and obviously that isn't going to count for their District 10 power ranking. It really doesn't have an impact. I asked Jeremy Lynch, were you apprehensive to take another out-of-state game? And he said, absolutely not. I I want the competition, and he's getting it so far. Tristan Wilson hits a three, and Mount Carmel is going to take a 10-3 early lead with 2:46 to go in the opening period of play. There's a spin around move and a three ball for the Ramblers. Doesn't hit. And again, like I had said in the last game, it wasn't like they were just facing, teams that they were familiar with. Like LaSalle had just come off of a win against Louisiana. Very familiar with Louisiana, as there is a Euro step and finish for Michael Thompson. This one is going to get blocked away by Wallace, nearly into the seats, but it stays alive. There's a finish at the rim. Tristan Wilson. There's 1:49 to go in the first. Cathedral Prep. The three ball is in for Amari Horton. Horton here's a swish on that one. 12-8. Cathedral Prep down by 4. Mount Carmel. Out to the far side. Three ball hits. Mario Tatum. He has 5. Tristan Wilson has 5. Ron Scott has 3. Junior Mancho has 2. It makes up 15 for Our Lady of Mount Carmel. They have a 15-8 lead with 60 seconds to go in the first. Michael Thompson falls as he tries to put one up. Ethan Thompson grabs the scraps. Mount Carmel on the other end now, and an outlet pass, and a lob will not hit. 36 seconds. And a three, nothing but net. Fernando Mararchi, his second three of the game, gives him 6 total and puts Cathedral Prep back within 4 of the lead. 15-11, 20 seconds to go in the first quarter of play. Third of 4 games here today at the McDevitt Catholic Christmas Showcase. Luke Brown with you. 10 seconds to go in the first. And there is the mid-range jumper that goes for Tristan Wilson. Now he leads the team with 7 points, trying to beat the buzzer. And they do. Cathedral Prep, count it, for three. It is Nando Baracci on his third three of the game, and after one quarter of play, 14 to 17, Mount Carmel leads. Second quarter underway. It is a 17 to 14 lead for Our Lady of Mount Carmel. They hail from Baltimore, Maryland. Cathedral Prep from Erie. Mount Carmel with the opening possession here in this second. Cathedral Prep trying to knock it away. They were almost successful in that endeavor. With the halftime break coming up, and then after that, we will chat with Jason Grace, head coach of this McDevitt team, the event organizer for these 8 games, 6 schools. That one is up and underneath the basket. Tristan Heflin gets the two underneath. Michael Thompson, a nifty move, and the pass is swatted into the bleachers. Nando Maracci with a really spectacular move right in front of me. Trying to shake a defender. Trying to also get the pass under the baseline. Now he's got to track down a ball all the way out there. Pittsburgh Central Catholic just pulled up. They are here now. Brian also leading that Viking team that will play next. An 8 o'clock scheduled tip. And a foul called. We'll see if the point counts. It will not. Rather it will. Yeah, so that's 2 points in for Gage Howard. His first two of the game. Three ball out is short. The attempt from Spencer Kahn. Another three on the ends for Mount Carmel is good for Missouri Brown. Three on the far side won't go. Got to recover the ball at times. Made it two in almost a half games without getting any loose balls over to my table, but as long as it's at a manageable pace for manageable speed to be able to get to it and not hit any laptop, microphones, anything of that nature, cup with drink in it. Any of that is certainly manageable and okay with me. Following a volleyball game in South New Jersey a couple of months ago, as the first free throw for Samartine Hill does not go. Where I go to school, Rowan University was hosting William Patterson in warm-ups at a table very similar to the table setup that I have here at McDevitt, and was telling my broadcast partner, we're probably going to get some balls that come over this way. Just be ready. You don't want yourself to get hit. You also don't want your laptop or anything else in your setup to be hit. And a couple minutes later, one comes right over, smacks my laptop. That was uh, that was a lot of fun to recover that one. Gage Howard hits the two, so he has four total. Mount Carmel leads by 12, 26-14, with 5:28 to go in this second period. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout call here. Yep, 5:28, and a timeout is called. The tournament is presented by Mid-Penn Bank. For over 150 years, Mid-Penn Bank has been a proud community member with locations throughout Pennsylvania and central New Jersey. The bank provides a wide variety of financial products and services. Its over 600 employees are dedicated to building relationships and making a difference in the communities where they live and work. Stop by a local financial center and find out how Mid-Penn Bank can help you. Mount Carmel leads by 12, 26-14, 5:28 to go in the second period. Coming up, it is Pittsburgh Central Catholic and Bishop McDevitt. That should certainly be a lot of fun between those two schools. Mentioned the football relevance that both of those schools have. So they're in the same division. McDevitt and Cumberland Valley was also in the 5A state championship, beating Roman Catholic from Philadelphia. There's the pull-up jumper that is good to go from Antoine Williams. Cathedral Prep. The charge. On Cathedral Preps, Amari Horton. This game has been relatively close for the majority, but Mount Carmel finds themselves with a doubled score over Cathedral Prep, 28-14, with just 4:36 to go in the second quarter. Take a timeout at half. Be back with McDevitt head coach Jason Grace in the second half of this one. There's one that is off the short end of the iron on a three ball. Tomorrow, Cathedral Prep will face Berks Catholic. I previously said LaSalle. They will have Berks Catholic tomorrow. After that, they'll face Girard, Northeast, McDowell. They will host Aliquippa. That should be a really good game. Cathedral Prep and Aliquippa, who won at the 4A state championship last year. They're led by a really athletic group that reins in football stars. Aliquippa, school that has the most NFL Hall of Famers of any high school in the country. Headlined by Ty Law. As that one is good on the three ball from Cormac Dunell. So his three puts Cathedral Prep within 11 of tying Mount Carmel. So obviously a tall task to do in the first half. Not out of the question, but a tall task. Mount Carmel throws that possession out of bounds, though. mass substitution. I believe, yeah, that's all five guys coming out. When you have on the varsity level, though, that's the second time we've seen five in, five out substitution. The first was JV, as that one hits for Michael Thompson. His first three of the game, he's got 5 points total. The first time we saw it was JV, and then now we see five in, five out for Mount Carmel at the varsity level, and that's kind of what you want to have in terms of depth of your team. There are some teams that are successful, and they only go seven deep, two subs. That's it. We saw it last year, plenty. It's very common to just have a team that goes eight deep. They've got eight guys that can play at the varsity level and hang around in a big game. Mount Carmel has 10, at least from what we've seen so far. I still think that right now there are six total guys on the bench there. Free throw is good to go from Ron Scott. That was his second trip to the line. Mount Carmel leads 30 to 20. And a foul call that's going to go against Tristan Wilson. Looks like a hand check. Cathedral Prep is either in the bonus or one away. It looks like they're going to be one away. Michael Thompson is at the line. They are in the bonus. Thompson misses his first. 2:33 to go in this first half. Thompson sinks his second. There's a finish almost at the rack. It was Junior Mancho who was trying to do it. Now he gets it back and puts it in. That's his second finish. Four total points for him. 2 minutes to go till the halftime break. Three ball for Cathedral Prep is off the mark. It was Sebastian Wofford on the shot. Nando Mararchi will inbound it back to Sebastian Wofford as Mount Carmel lost control on their offensive possession. That one is going to get tipped out of bounds by Tristan Wilson. Substitution is Wilson will come out of bounds, or excuse me, come out. Gage Howard We'll sub back in. Cathedral Prep has to fight to catch the inbound. A pass that was intended for Michael Thompson was tipped out of bounds. Thompson will inbound yet again to Ethan Howard. Thompson back downstairs, excuse me, to Max Wallace. Carmel dribbling it out to the half court line, guarded by Marachi. 20 seconds. Trying to finish and a putback slam for Gage Howard. He gets up top, and it's back to an 11-point lead for Mount Carmel not so longer as Michael Thompson will hit a three, and that will do it. The buzzer beater is off the glass. Michael Thompson's three ball is the last to go in that half. It is 34 to 26. The lead for Our Lady of Mount Carmel. They lead by 8. And we return after this halftime break with McDevitt head coach and event organizer Jason Grace. He will join us right here live on And we welcome you back. Second half of action. McDevitt and, excuse me, Cathedral Prep and Mount Carmel. I keep saying McDevitt because it's all around. You look up in the rafters and you see the distant different championships that McDevitt has won. We're going to be joined by Jason Grace at some point in this second half, as there is a missed three from Cathedral Prep's Amari Horton, but certainly a lot of tasks for Jason Grace to tackle, and he's going to join us in just a moment. Mount Carmel heading to the line, and we'll be right back here on Luke Brown Sports. A missed free throw. So we're going to be joined by Grace coming up in a couple of minutes. But Junior Mancho got the points, so that will go in as an 8-point lead for Mount Carmel. 37, or excuse me, an 11-point lead. 37-26 as Mancho tried to race down and score on the other end. So heading to the line again. This broadcast made possible by Penn Bank. Made free throw. Tristan Wilson, excuse me. Having a hard time with the tango of words. Wilson on his second free throw goes up and does not hit. So 12-point lead is where we stay. Mount Carmel, 38-26. Kick it up to the corner, and it rolls in and out. There's a three. That won't go. And a secure pass underneath, secured by Junior Mancho. And he got the points right in front of the rack. 8 for him, and a 14-point lead for Mount Carmel. 40-26 with 6:39 to go in the third. Cathedral Prep, Nando Mararchi, who's going to be double teamed up top. It leaves the man open. And some good defense being played by Wilson. He's got a fast break. It wasn't pretty, but he got the job done. Tristan Wilson has himself a 10-point performance. 6:23 left to go in the third period. For over 150 years, Mid-Penn Bank has been a proud community member. With locations throughout Pennsylvania and central New Jersey, the bank provides a wide variety of financial products and services. Its over 600 employees are dedicated to building relationships and making a difference in the communities where they live and work. Stop by a local financial center and find out how Mid-Penn Bank can help you. So we're going to be joined by Jason Grace, the head coach of Bishop McDevitt and the tournament organizer. That headset is adjustable if you need so. But thank you very much for joining me on Luke Brown Sports. This has been a great event so far, and certainly looking forward to the rest of it. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you coming out, Luke. It's been great. The basketball's been high level and very competitive, and we're super excited about the weekend.
Yeah, I wanna get into some basketball talk, but first, because you were the organizer of this event, getting teams from all over different cities, was that kind of the goal? You hit Erie, you hit Pittsburgh, Philly, Baltimore, and obviously Harrisburg. Was that something that you wanted to achieve, was get all these different cities involved?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was less about geographic than it was to go out and try to get some of the historically, you know, powerhouse parochial programs over the last few decades, get them back involved in an opportunity to bring the Catholic schools together. We got Pittsburgh, Erie, Baltimore, Reading, Philly, Harrisburg. So we're touching on a lot of those geographic points, but really the goal initially was just to try to bring some high quality, you know, private school basketball together.
Yeah, that shot is nearly blocked. Mount Carmel will have the and one, and they extend their lead to 44-26 with a chance to head to the line as well. In terms of the basketball, I'm sure a lot of people read the article that Penn Live had put out about a freshman that's on this team, Demir Arp. Talk a little bit about what it's been like to have him around the team thus far, and how much he's contributed as a freshman.
Yeah, listen, we're a young group, primarily. He's being thrust into an opportunity that he so far has embraced. He's got a real high upside. And, over the years, I've coached guys like Chance Westry and Malachi Palmer and Owen Schlager at the middle school level. And I see a lot of basketball IQ things in Demir that those guys had, and it's neat to see him embracing the opportunity and trying to lead by example. I think it's going to take some time as he matures, as we, grow alongside him. We trying to put him in positions to be successful and play to his strengths, but so far so good. We got a couple games there. We wish we would have ended up on the winning side, very competitive, and came up a bucket or two short, but that had more to do with slow starts and tough shooting days than it did youth or experience.
Ralph Rubisan puts two more in for Mount Carmel. They extend their lead to 21, and another chance offensively will send Mount Carmel to the line. You talk about the comparison, or just the guys that you've been around, because you were at St. Teresa's, correct?
Yeah, St. Teresa, New
So
Cumberland.
Malachi Palmer, who's at Maryland, Chance Westry, who's at Syracuse, and Owen Schlager, who's going to play at Siena. Um, the comparison. What similarities just from eighth grade, ninth grade on do you see in Demir that you saw in those guys?
Like we touched on there, it was definitely some basketball IQ things early on. You could tell when guys have played at a high level and played on that AAU circuit, um, how those guys make guys around them better. Um, I think there's some similarities there. Chance Westry always embraced that. Demir is more of a combo guard that can fill it up, and Malachi was always a big time scorer, real smooth and had good size. I think there's a lot of similarities. The athleticism that you see in Owen Schlegel and the vision. Um, you see some of that. So I see a lot of that in Demir early on here, and as long as he stays focused and keeps grinding, I think his only limitations will be those that he put on himself. If he lets things, slip in terms of work or gets comfortable in the grind, I think he's going to control his destiny.
In terms of the effort that you've put into this tournament, I mean, your staff has done everything from putting up the banner with all the sponsors to getting the sponsors to managing the media. How do make sure that you're prepared tonight for Pittsburgh Central Catholic and also
Yeah, we
get
have
all
a
this
game. Yeah,
get all this done?
I thought about that about an hour ago. We
Yeah,
got a game tonight, but no, we've got a great staff. We've dug into a lot of film on these guys. We know a lot of their tendencies and what they like to do. It's a little bit of a wild card. I think tonight they'll have some football guys that are finally playing with them, just like we've added a couple in the last few weeks.
sure.
Both teams have played in the state championship round of the football season. And, so we'll see some new players for them, but we do have an idea. They're going to be well coached. They want to shoot lots of threes. They share the ball nice. Bring their post players out to the perimeter as facilitators. We expect that we've got a pretty good idea what they want to do. I think, I try to keep focus on what we're trying to do. This has been about 13 months of my life putting this thing together. The inception, last season I thought about wanting to do something like this, and it started took some time to find the right programs, then obviously some time to find the sponsors, but yeah, it's all come together this weekend. We're real excited about it.
Having Phil Martelli as the speaker at tomorrow night's dinner downtown in Harrisburg, and he'll be here for some games tomorrow as well. What was kind of the process in getting such a legendary coach to be part of this program, be part of this event?
Yeah, when we set out to try to find a guest speaker, and, and a headliner for our event, a lot of names came to mind. A lot of groups that showed some interest, but given compliance issues in the NCAA and the college level,
Mhm.
I really needed to find somebody that was sort of out of coaching this year, but had all that experience and perspective that we were looking for. And it just happened that I had a college teammate of mine that played for Phil in Philadelphia, and did an introduction. And Phil's been great. He embraced the weekend. He's actually coming up to do color commentary tonight on the TV broadcast. He's got to go back to Philly for some personal stuff in the morning, and then he's coming back for our tournament mass and dinner. And he's really embraced the weekend, as all these guys have. And he doesn't need to do stuff like that, but that's why he's a legend, you know?
Yeah, timeout on the floor, 4:01. It is a 48-27 lead for Mount Carmel. That's head coach Jason Grace joining us, giving us his time on the broadcast. We'll be back in a moment here on Luke Brown Sports. It's the Catholic Christmas Showcase brought to you by Mid-Penn Bank. Back with you here on Luke Brown Sports. It's Cathedral Prep and Mount Carmel 48-27. The lead for Our Lady of Mount Carmel. They hail from Baltimore, Maryland. Cathedral Prep from Erie. Probably, I would say, probably the most two traveled teams to get here, but then you remember the next coming up is Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Free throw is good for Cathedral Prep, and now a pass is intercepted. It'll give them possession back. A quick handoff and a near bucket for Cormac Thunell. Looks like this is going to stay Rambler possession. It will not. Rather, it'll be Mount Carmel and a foul called. So coming up next is the nightcap. It is scheduled for an 8 o'clock tip-off. It'll probably be just a bit behind schedule there. And tomorrow's slate of games, it'll be LaSalle and McDevitt JV, Mount Carmel Mount Carmel and LaSalle. Mount Carmel Pitt Central Catholic. Yeah, that's correct. LaSalle and McDevitt Cathedral Prep and Berks Catholic. Had to had to re-rack everything up there and make sure I was given the correct schedule for tomorrow. 20-point lead for Mount Carmel. 3:46 to go here in the third. The dish over to the far end. Reball for the Ramblers doesn't go. No foul called there. It was pretty tough for Gage Howard to secure that rebound without any interference. Pull-up jumper does not hit. And the rebound and second chance for Antoine Williams is good. Pull-up three ball. Yes, indeed. Fernando Mararchi. He has 9, now 12 points in this game. They all come from points beyond the arc. Gage Howard, and he will slam it home. Gage Howard. That's three ball for Cathedral Prep. Won't go. Back out, and no good. Mass substitution again. 5 in, 5 out. 21-point lead for Mount Carmel. Here's a breakaway and another jam for Mount Carmel. Junior Mancho. He's got 10 so far in this one. 2:06 to go in the third. There's a three that hits for Amari Horton. A lob now for Junior Mancho. He doesn't take it and slam it home, but he does get the catch and shoot up top. 56-34. Three ball top of the key for Cathedral Prep doesn't hit. Offensive rebound. They're trying to secure it. It's loose on the ground. And this three is money for Nando Morarchi, who now has 15 points, and none of them are anything but a 3-point shot. At the timeout with 1:31 remaining here in the third period. This broadcast and this tournament is sponsored by Mid-Penn Bank. For over 150 years, Mid-Penn Bank has been a proud community member. With locations throughout Pennsylvania and central New Jersey, the bank provides a wide variety of financial products and services. Its over 600 employees are dedicated to building relationships and making a difference in the communities where they live and work. Stop by a local financial center and find out how Mid-Penn Bank can help you. 1:31 to go in the third period. This is the McDevitt Catholic Christmas Showcase on Luke Brown Sports. Carmel and Tristan Wilson fouled on a breakaway. He lobbed one up at the basket. Sometimes the referees can be absolute sticklers about stuff like that. Not the case in this one. Wilson hits his first free throw, misses his second, so it is 57-37, a 20-point lead for Mount Carmel. Wilson is going to have it on a breakaway, and he will jam it down. Third quarter turns into Dunk City for Mount Carmel. Missed shot on the Cathedral Prep end under a minute to go in this third quarter. The pass on the Mount Carmel side is taken away by Nando Morarchi. Morarchi thought about a three. He's been lights out from the beyond the arc, but this time they'll pass a three over to Michael Thompson, who hits. Thompson also has 3 3-pointers, 12 total points. 59-40, a 19-point lead. 20 seconds to go. Three ball on the wing. In the corner, rather. Tristan Wilson gets it to go. He has been really good in this second half for Mount Carmel, emerging as the best player in this game. A layup hits the side of the glass. 2.2 to go. Mount Carmel chucks one all the way down. Was fouled as he fouled right before he threw it, rather. So it'll be two shots from Mario Tatum. Tatum 2 for 2 with that appearance at the line. He's got 10 total. Third quarter buzzer is Ringing out, it is a 64-40 lead for Mount Carmel, 14 points. 8 minutes left to go in the third of 4 games today, the third of 8 total here at the McDevitt Catholic Christmas Showcase, sponsored by Mid-Penn Bank. Fourth quarter of play is here. Number 4, plenty of sports coverage explained, or sports explained through coverage, mostly in the written form, but also in the podcast and video form. Visit LukeBrownSports.com. There's 2 more for number 33. That's Junior Mancho, providing that big body presence as just a sophomore, too. He's got plenty of time to grow and develop. First shot is up and good for Amari Horton. Second is also good, gives him 9 total. Mount Carmel driving at the basket with Martine Hill. Referees are going to deliberate on this one. Free throw is up and good for Hill. Hill gets a second, also good. 68-42. I believe that was Hill. No, it was Tristan Wilson who had to keep it in bounds. He ended up flying into the Cathedral bench. They might try to elbow him, take him out the rest of this 6 minute 30 seconds. But more seriously, it's a 26-point lead. And there was a lob intended for Junior Mancho. He could not secure it from Wilson. You can't miss Wilson, except that when he's being guarded by certain players, as that dunk attempt is blocked away. The attempt came from Ralph Rudisand, excuse me. But Wilson has these neon green shoes, and you can tell it's him because of them, except that when he's being guarded by Cathedral Prep Spencer Kahn, which he was on the last possession, their shoes they're not identical, but they're both very lime green. Max Wallace, Horton. Now over to Nando Mararchi, and it's taken away. But a push off contact, that is a charge on Smartine Hill. Hill was very, very confused about the call originally, and pretty evident that he pushed off to create separation on that layup, and the Mount Carmel head coach on the sideline is waving his hand, just telling Hill to get back on the other end, and not necessarily an admission that the call was right. Maybe he just would rather him not argue calls, but I would say the more likely option is Eno. Here is Hill on the other end this time, and he will get the layup, separation or not. 5:20 left to go. There's the shot from Mararchi off the mark. Wilson secures the rebound. He will hit Hill. Hill tries to lob it up for Ralph Rudesands, and Rudesands was not prepared for that attempt. Gather step and then shot. It's just going to go out of bounds on Cathedral Prep. Spencer Kahn took the shot. Cathedral Prep tried to hold down a rebound, but it ended up going off of one of their guys and out of bounds. 70-44. And a foul this time goes against Ahmad Horton. I don't know if that came across over the air, but Wilson just walked by. Tristan Wilson, who has been dynamite in this second half, just walked by and said, I'm out of breath. He's behind me in the hallway, watching what he can from out there, but he he is he's gassed. And now he's just talking a little bit with Tristan Horton, junior forward, from out in the hallway. Some good personality to go along with some good second half play from Wilson. Hill on his first free throw. It goes. Extends the lead to 71-44. Second is also good. Takeaway for Mount Carmel and a foul on Cathedral Prep's Michael Thompson. It is going to send Mazzari Brown to the line. Most shots don't go. Looks like a lane violation is going to give him a third shot. Yeah, so a redo of the second shot from Brown. And that time he gets it. Third time's the charm for Brown. Gives him 4 total points. Sophomore guard forward. 4 minutes to go. Crowd starting to fill in a little bit. They will more and more as we get closer to 8 o'clock, 7:45 at the moment. Shouldn't be too far behind schedule in terms of tip-off time, unless there are any extra festivities, with it being the hosts finally getting their chance to take the floor. There's Max Wallace putting two in for Cathedral Prep. Some ice around the knee of Tristan Wilson, so we will not see him for the rest of this game. Probably could have guessed that. Here's Thunel taking it up the floor. He loses possession control. 3:06 left to go here in the fourth. And a slip. It's going to give it back to the Ramblers. A premature throw in. Mario Smith, freshman. Chalk that up to inexperience, not waiting for the referee's whistle. Get our first look at Demir Arp in the next game. It is McDevitt facing Pittsburgh Central Catholic. That is sure to be exciting watching Demir Arp. If you have been with us throughout the second half of this one, you probably heard Jason Grace talk about him, you know, talking about the you know, not necessarily the comparison, but certainly the uniqueness of the players that he's seen through his days coaching at the middle school level. Chance Westry, Malachi Palmer, and Owen Schlager are three to name a bunch of guys that went on to play college hoops. So Martine Hill slices his way through the lane. We're down to 2 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Obviously, not a close game. There's two more from Max Wallace, Cathedral Prep, but our first non-close game. The first game we had was JV. McDevitt comes from behind to beat LaSalle, or to beat Berks Catholic, and then LaSalle and Berks Catholic go toe to toe, and LaSalle is able to come away with that win. Berks Catholic certainly determined to get on the W board tomorrow before mass and dinner in downtown Harrisburg tomorrow. Pittsburgh Central Catholic fans filing in. Quite the drive for them. Obviously, it has nothing on Cathedral Prep, who's going the furthest of any team to get here. No, no, and no breeze for Mount Carmel, who is, I would say, probably an hour and a half away. At least Pittsburgh Central Catholic, they at least the guys on the football team, they know a little bit about the area. If there's any guys on the Cathedral Prep basketball team that are not freshmen that also play soccer, then they know the area a little bit. Both of those guys were at Cumberland Valley last year. This year for Cathedral Prep for boys soccer, and Pittsburgh Central Catholic was here just weeks ago playing football at Cumberland Valley for the state championship. They were handed a loss by the ever dominant St. Joe's Prep. 56 seconds to go. That pass is going to go through the legs of Max Wallace. 53.3 seconds to go. These broadcasts made possible by Mid-Penn Bank. For over 150 years, Mid-Penn Bank has been a proud community member. With locations throughout Pennsylvania and central New Jersey, the bank provides a wide variety of financial products and services. Its over 600 employees are dedicated to building relationships and making a difference in the communities where they live and work. Stop by a local financial center to find out how Mid-Penn Bank can help you. 40 seconds to go in this fourth quarter, and a near takeaway by Demario Smith is recovered by Mount Carmel. 30 seconds to go. 77 to 48 is where we stand. This is Martine Hill, who was able to dribble about 20 seconds off the clock. Cathedral Prep still showing effort. Down 39 points late in this game. Or 29 points, excuse me. Clock down to 5. The last second three is off the back of the glass and in. Cormac Thinnell had the three at the end, so that brings his total to 8, and that brings the final score to 77-48. A win for Our Lady of Mount Carmel in Cathedral Prep's fifth straight out-of-state game. They will have another chance tomorrow against Berks Catholic back in state, a game that counts for their District 10 power ranking. That does it for our broadcast here on Luke Brown Sports. The nightcap is coming up next. It'll be McDevitt and Pittsburgh Central Catholic, the hosts, playing a 6A squad.